All right. Welcome, everyone, to our second episode of the new podcast, Bringing Heaven to Earth, where we unite wisdom keepers, healers, and inspirational leaders to elevate the consciousness of our planet. We are broadcasting live from Ater Tumti Holistic Retreat in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. So we're so happy to have you here. And in this time of profound change and uncertainty, many are seeking hope and inspiration. So in this podcast, we will share stories of healing, transformation, and empowerment, encouraging one another to rise together. I'm Veronica Carrera. I'm the founder of Ater Tumti Holistic Retreat in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Today, I have a phenomenal guest, someone who has impacted many people's lives, including my own. Her name is Paola Castro. She is an author, a spiritual, and life coach. Welcome, Paola.
Thank you, Vero. Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited for this.
Super, super. So, are you ready to dive into the questions?
I'm born ready, amiga.
You're born ready. Okay, for those that don't know us, when we come together, it's just fun. Okay, that's the type of friendship that we have. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just have the fun and the joy throughout the whole conversation. So,
Yeah.
Paola, how do you define bringing heaven to earth in your life and in your practice? Or what does this concept mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Bringing heaven to earth, to me, it means to go to bed every night at peace, knowing that I am living a life of integrity, expressing the divine qualities of love, divine qualities of the universe, divine qualities of the creator, however we call it. We are spiritual beings. I am convinced of that. And within us, there are all these qualities that are always there. We were born with them, and they will continue with us way beyond our death. And when I can pass my humanity, I can tell the ego, thank you, but no thank you. You have a very important role in my life, and I have spiritual authority that allows me to express these divine qualities. That's when I'm bringing heaven to earth. I'm expressing my divine self in this human experience without forgetting to be human, because that's the shadow side of this too. Like, it's not all about heaven, it's about bringing heaven to earth, because earth needs us. As the scripture says, we're in the world but we're not of it, but we're in the world for a reason.
You bring up a very important point. Is we seek to bring this high frequency of the divine, this higher consciousness into our lives, into our humanity. And sometimes as spiritual leaders or coaches and that are committed to bring people's transformations, we also experience that dance between the shadow and the light.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you make space for that in our own journey. And we're also humans. We just love so much this journey of actually bringing heaven within ourselves and then bringing other people along.
Yes. Yes. It is important to remember and not bypass that we are human, and this human experience is imperfect, is difficult, is messy, is confusing at times. And for the humans part of us, it could be a struggle. So bringing heaven it's the remembrance of our spiritual essence. So how can I bring who I truly am into this dream? Some people call it game, dream, whatever it is, into this experience called being a human being. So yes, in my own life, I every time I'm going through uh, a valley of shadows and darkness, I take those moments as blessings, even though they might not feel like blessing in the moment. But to say, hey, in this passage right now, I know that I am learning how to bring that heaven to earth, even in the darkest moments of my life. And in the last year, I think as a collective, we've been through a lot of darkness.
Yeah.
Collectively, individually, all of us are like in this washing machine or in this, I don't know how to call it, but it's like it's been intense because we're being called to have more integrity. We're being called, the previous guest, Ash, I think it was her name, she spoke at the end about truth. We're being called to be in truth. And in this society, we've learned, no, belong first and then speak about truth. Quote unquote, love first and then be in truth. But in that quest of trying to belong and trying to love, we have forgotten to be honest. And
Mm.
so it's been intense, or it gets intense in life because life wants us to be in alignment, in honesty. And I think that is the beauty of this human experience. It shows us with contrast when we are not in alignment with who we truly are, which is, you can call it your higher self.
Yeah, you always speak so beautifully and so powerfully as well. And this makes me want to ask you another question, just to now invite you to open a little bit more about yourself. What challenges have you faced in your own journey of transformation?
Oh, well, many many challenges, and they're not special to me. My ego
Yeah.
wants to think that I'm special and I'm the only one that suffers these ones, but no, they're universal. And the biggest one, which I wasn't expecting it because I've always felt very healthy. It was a health challenge that opened a portal of ascension for me, and it still is. I'm in it. Back in 2020, I was going through one of the most beautiful times of my life. I just met the love of my life. We got married, and I was in that honeymoon phase. But for whatever reason, a few months after getting married, I started feeling different. I started feeling not myself. And I started a period of researching, like, why is my body not feeling like it used to feel? People are like, okay, well, you just turned 35, and that's when things started to shift and change. And sure, I'm sure there are some things that happen at a certain age, but then gradually things started getting worse. Now, my spiritual path was deepening. I was, doing my processes. I was looking within. I was doing my meditation. I was an active participant in a spiritual community. I was getting certified as a spiritual practitioner from Agape. I was doing all the things. I was thriving in my marriage. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm teaching people about freedom. I'm teaching people about peace, but my body's aching and I don't know. And I had like the thickest blindfold over my eyes. I don't know what's going on, and I need to figure this out. So I'm extremely independent, sometimes to my detriment. Those of you who are listening who grew up extremely independent because you thought, my my caregivers and my parents may not be available, so let me take care of me. That's usually type A personalities. I started doing my research. I overdid it. I over research. I over try to heal myself in the most violent ways, meaning doing extreme things, but I was still not finding my answer. Things got darker and darker and darker in the sense of my body not responding to the things that I was intellectually doing. And so, in an all hero's journey, you reach a bottom place where you're like, okay, I don't know. You throw your hands up in the air and you said, well, I don't know what else to do. Like, I give up. And so in this giving up, I would call it more of a surrendering. In this surrendering, I decided to I'm hearing a good noise. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't hear it on my side.
You don't hear on your side? Okay, great. Um, in this surrendering, I stopped doing so much. Not because I wanted in my head, it's because I just couldn't. I couldn't do what I used to do. I used to have lots of one on one clients. I used to teach at this retreat place every single week. I used to take classes. I mean, like my life was busy, and I felt that it was great. Now when I couldn't do anymore, it's like the death of the ego. If I'm not doing all of this, if I'm not thriving in the ways that I used to, then who am I? Am I even worth it? Like is my life even a life worth living? Like I got that dark
Yeah.
because
And
it
isn't it interesting, though, Pao, that in this pursuit of expanding our consciousness, in the pursuit of seeking our own healing and other people's healing, sometimes we continue the doing,
Mhm.
the non-stop
Yes,
momentum.
yes,
And so I know you're going to get that, but that's an interesting dichotomy.
yeah,
So
yes.
diving a little bit more into that.
Yes, yes. And then when I started asking myself, well, if I'm not that teacher anymore, if I'm not the coach anymore, if I'm not, doing all these videos anymore, then do I have any value? And that's when I started getting answers. Oh, interesting. Look at me. If I don't do that, I am not anything. Like I'm not worth anything.
I see.
So you feel that pain of who am I now? And there's a wonderful story I like to say in my teachings of this woman that dies unexpectedly, goes to heaven. This is kind of like a little tale, made up tale. This woman goes to heaven. St. Peter is waiting for, is not waiting for her. She knocks on the doors of heaven. St. Peter comes out. He opens this giant book and says, woman, let me try to find you here because we're not waiting for you today. Remember, she died unexpectedly. And so she's like, well, St. Peter, I can help you. Let me tell you who I am. I don't know, she says Martha, and I'm from Connecticut, and I was married to Paul. And he's like, wait, just a minute. I didn't ask your name, where you live, who you're married. I didn't ask any of that. I would like to know, who are you? And she goes, well, my son is this, my daughter is this, and this is my career. And she just kept saying labels. And very frustrated, St. Peter said to her, look, woman, you don't know who you are. I'm going to give you another chance. Go back to earth, figure it out. And so she's given another chance. And so I didn't literally die, but I felt like I was at the doors of heaven. And my soul was like, who are you, Paola? And I was like, well, I'm a coach. Well, I'm an author. Well, I'm married to James. Well, I'm Costa Rican. Well, and then my soul was like, that's not the answer. And you got to figure it out. And I'm going to take everything away until you figure it out.
And who
And
are you now, Pao?
I am. I am. There's no quality after. Is I am the I am presence. But if we want to put some quality after that, I can say I'm Queen Paola. I am the daughter of the Most High. But I am. I am. And I don't know if who's listening will understand these words, but just I'm planting that seed. There's nothing needed after
I
I am.
am. I
Yeah.
am.
And
And
and,
what
and
happened?
it goes beyond words. Yeah.
It goes beyond words.
Hmm.
Thank you for bringing that frequency of the I am into this
Hmm.
conversation.
Yes. Yes.
And you beautifully explain the challenges and we go through even as healers or transformation coaches
Hmm.
and and devoted seekers.
Yeah.
And we have to experience this darkness. We have to experience the dance of the shadow and the light so that we can, in an authentic way, help many
Hmm.
others who are in the same journey.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things that I also wanted to talk to you about is that in your calling, You also focus on helping people quiet the noise. Can you
Mhm.
share a personal experience when you successfully navigated through chaos to find inner peace?
Mhm. Well, this health challenge it's been very chaotic, and I keep coming back to my heart. It's interesting because I've put a lot of programs out there, and this theme of going from the head to the heart just keeps calling me, because when you throw your hands up in the air, when you say I don't know anymore, like I've done a million times through this journey, I don't know. Like it's almost like you get a little bit cynical about it, and not in a negative way, but there's this little cynicism, like I don't know. I thought I knew. I thought I read all the books. I thought I've studied from all the teachers, but I truly don't know anymore. And I remember my teacher, Michael Beck, was saying, when you're in that space, you're in a space of power. Because when you don't know, now you can learn. You can learn from the quantum field of all possibilities. When you don't know, when you throw your hands up in the air and you're like, there's no solution that my brain can comprehend, then you find solutions beyond your paradigm. And that is found through this 0 point of awareness, this neutral space that is called the heart. And I don't know if you guys know who are listening, and I know you know, Vero, the Heart Math Institute has been studying the heart for as long as I've been alive, so 40 years. And the Heart Math Institute have found that the heart has neurons just like the brain, and that the heart emits an electromagnetic field that is so potent that it can change the brain waves of someone that is close to you, if you're in high frequency from your heart. So our heart has this capacity to tap into this field of all potential, into this intelligence that is beyond your intellectual intelligence, and it has the capacity to influence the world. So how did I come to peace in a moment of chaos? Just keep dropping to the heart, Paula. Keep feeling. We come into this world of personal development, and one of the reasons why I got sick is because I said, okay, I have all these things from my childhood I didn't like. I became hyper independent. I became hyper responsible of myself and everyone else. Hence, why I became a therapist coach. Let me help everyone change, because I couldn't change my past. And um, and so you come into this understanding that when you're trying so hard to change everything from your mind, and then you don't find answers, the only answer is found in the heart. So just keep dropping to the heart, just keep coming there and learn how to feel. I came into the world of personal development because I said, once I'm perfect, then it's all going to be happy, happy rainbows, butterflies. But it's not that way. Once the little print in the contract of transformation is like, this will bring chaos, because there will be a greater order trying to emerge. So one of the things that I tell people now, and I tell myself all the time, especially thinkers like me, meaning I love to think. um, Not that I'm like a philosopher or anything, but I love to think, is to say, Paola, before you feel good, get good at feeling.
You're sharing so many nuggets of wisdom. So you you I mean, you just talked about, before you feel good, get good at feeling. Yeah, that's the number one. And then the second is like, gosh, I wish I can remember all the different nuggets of wisdom that you just shared, but we'll have the opportunity to review the recording. You also talked about the importance of the heart, drop into the heart. But a lot of people do not know what that means. In a world where there's so much chaos in the mind and the heart, and everything happening externally and internally. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do people do that?
Oh my God, it's so easy. It's so simple. It's ridiculous that we don't do it more. Even myself, that I teach this, sometimes I'm like, Paola, what have you been doing? Okay, so I want to say something very important. the most important assets we all have, your superpower, my superpower, is our attention. It's not time. It's not money. Well, we already knew that about money, but it's not even time. It's attention, because you can have all the time in the world. I've had clients, for example, that they retire and they're like, okay, now I'm going to do the dream that I always wanted to, pursue. They have all the time in the world, but their attention is in their past, regrets, things that they didn't do, family drama, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And they're like, I can't. I'm depressed. So they have all the time and they have money because they're retired, but they still can move forward because their attention is not in the right space. So the first thing we need to know is that we need to claim back our attention. The other day I got so inspired. I need to make a video about that. Where is our attention? Where are our eyes? I want to tell you something very quickly. I surf. Well, I used to surf, not anymore, because all
I was going to ask you to teach me to surf, and now you don't surf anymore.
Well, I'm trying. I'm coming back. 2026. I already on the new year and the first day of the year. I'm like, I'm doing it the last day and the first day of the year, so that I do it the next 12 months. So anyway, one of the rules in surf, there are many rules, but one of the things in surfing is that first thing, you want to see where the wave is breaking. So you want to get into that spot where it feels a bit uncomfortable, because that's where you get momentum, is where the wave pushes you. So that's one of the things. So have a little bit of courage to get to that space where it's like, am I going to wipe out? But then the other thing you want to do is you want to look. You want to use your eyes to look where you want to go. The natural thing of any human is to look down. So when you're falling, actually is one of the first fears that we're born with, the fear of falling, noises and falling. So when you're falling, you want to look down. If you do that in surfing, you wipe out. You will guarantee, or you just go straight.
Definitely fall.
Yeah, definitely fall. Or if you don't, you kind of fall in your stomach. And then if you try to get up, you have to kind of lift yourself up. And it's really difficult. It requires a lot of energy. So I did that in my first wave. I looked down. I didn't do a good job. And my friend who was with me said, Pao, remember, you got to look where you're going. And so that's what I did. I placed my attention in the next wave to where I'm going. And then I was surfing. I hadn't been in the water for years, maybe 2 years or a year and a half. And I thought, I have no condition. But that wasn't true. The moment I looked to where I was going, the momentum and the grace of nature just lift me up. So your question is, how do people get to their heart? First, you have to claim your attention. Our eyes, our physical eyes, and our attention right now is being purchased by algorithms, by marketing. We are being hijacked
by social media, not constant,
the news and the fear and the governments, and it's
all the alert. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're constantly, so we gotta bring back our attention. Every time I'm scrolling now, I can handle maybe, and thank God my nervous system is I'm so fragile right now that I cannot deal with too much scrolling. But every time I overdo it, I say, Paula, bring your attention back to you. We've left. And so we're like chickens running out of, like a chicken with a head cut off. So that's the first thing. We need to bring back our attention to us, to the body. And then the next thing is that we need to bring that attention with our breath. Breath only happens in the present moment. You cannot breathe in the past. You cannot breathe in the future. You can only breathe in the present moment. So the moment you catch yourself that you're not here right now, you say to yourself, I call back my attention with this breath. So every breath is a calling of my attention that you left with people, with, a post of someone that you criticize, or with the news of what's happening in the government. You bring it back. And the best place to bring back your attention is back into your heart. So you want to bring the attention to the center. For those, I think the person before me mentioned a little bit of plant medicine. For me, plant medicine has been a great teacher of finding my center. Because as you know, when you're in that moment of like, oh my God, I'm in an altered state of consciousness, I'm
Yeah.
tripping. If you're not in your center, if you're not with your breath, it can get very chaotic. So it's as simple as reclaiming your attention and bringing the attention to your heart. You can even put your hand on your heart. You can tap, and for a minute, just breathe right here. Breathe right here. And there's something really profound that happens. And then the second thing I want to say, that all sounds too advanced for some, because you say my brain is too strong, I can't do it. Just get out in nature without a phone. Just go and be surrounded by green. The other day I told my client this fun fact, and he's like, I never heard that. And I was like, I can't believe, like, I thought people knew this, but I'm going to say it right now so that maybe you've never heard it. In the chakra systems, yoga teaches about chakras, right? Or
And what
energy
are chakras? Because some people may not know what you're talking about.
energy centers. You know how yeah. I'm no yogi, so I don't know if I'll do a justice to explain what a chakra is, but it's an energy center. We know of 7, apparently there are more, but we know of 7 main chakras, and each one has a color. The color of the heart chakra is green. So when you're in nature, when you're looking at the color green, you are accessing you're accessing an ability to open your heart, to be more in your heart. And so this client of mine is like, well, it's the winter and nothing is green here. And I said, well, go get a plant. And he was so cute, he sent me a picture of it. He's like, I'm a plant dad now. But yeah, plants are incredible for us to be more in our hearts. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Pao. I totally didn't make the connection between the green chakra center of the heart with nature. So that's new information for me. So thank you.
Yes, yes.
You're always
I
teaching
mean,
me.
nature is for all chakras, but there's something there's resonance, and the thing that we live so anxious and so sad and angry, it's because, as Michael Singer says, we've closed our hearts, and that is dangerous. To live with a closed heart is the most dangerous thing we can do in this life, because we're closing ourselves to life in its entirety.
Yeah, in this last minutes, a few minutes that we have together, then let's talk about the heart. And then
Yeah.
also, how do you envision, right, bringing heaven to earth? But first, let's talk about the heart. How does a heart center life, or what does a heart center life mean to you?
It's a life of wisdom, because the brain, it's like a pendulum, right? The brain goes to the past or trips about the future. And the brain is very limited. The brain is full of judgment. The brain is full of fear. The brain, the most reactive part of our brains, it's very ancient. It's very animalistic, if you think. It's very survival based. Not all parts of the brain. We have the frontal cortex that is very useful to learn new information and all of that. But when we're trying to make decisions from our brain, we make decisions that keeps us in the status quo. It could be good decisions. It could be rational decisions. It could be, yeah, just good decisions. But if you want to go beyond it, if you want to grow, consult the heart, because you will be amazed on what the heart can tell you. I've had clients that tell me, Paula, really, like, maybe this thought has crossed my mind, but now that I feel it in my heart, this is it. And they follow that, and the consequences, the results of following your heart's wisdom, it's growth, is transformation. So it is a life of wisdom. It's not easy because the ego battles it. The ego wants to be right most of the time. and it's in its own righteousness could override the heart. So it requires discipline. I am building that discipline as we speak, but it is a beautiful journey to be on, because whenever again you throw your hands up in the air and you say, I don't know,
I
there's
love
always
that.
a way. There's always a way.
I actually, that's the part that I actually wanted to highlight. And and I think it's so important because many of us, many times, multiple times in our lives, we get to a point of saying to ourselves, I don't know,
Mhm.
whether it is about your professional life
Yes.
that you work so hard for, and then you
Mhm.
find yourself in a place where you're no longer passionate about. And then you start feeling this desperation of being in the state of, I don't know,
Yeah.
I worked so hard to get to this place, and
Mm.
now I'm feeling, I'm sitting in this emotion of, yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
And that can feel like hopeless, or you're in despair and I don't see the path forward. And then relationships,
Mhm.
you you found this profound love, and then in this love you get to a journey together where there are many ups and downs, or just the ups
Mhm.
and downs of life, and there might be moments and you tell yourself, I don't know,
Yeah. Yes.
what is the way forward here. And it is a
Yes.
very uncomfortable place to be, very
Yes.
uncomfortable, and that can be questions on many fronts, right? What do I want to do with my life?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, and then you give it a beautiful spin, which is actually when you are in a state of, I don't know, the neutral state of the heart and the mind, I would say, it is one of the most powerful and pivotal moments of your life,
Yeah.
because that is the moment it becomes a portal for
Yes.
great awakenings and transformation to occur in your life.
Yes. 100%. Yes. And I want to say something. I don't know who I heard it from. Going back to I wasn't expecting to talk about chakras, but I'm going to go back to that idea of the energy centers of of the human body. We have known 7 chakras, right? We got
Yeah.
the first three, then we got the heart, and then we got the last three. You're speaking about heaven and earth. The way that we bring heaven, so the first three, and earth, I mean, the last three, and earth, the first three, is through the heart. The heart is the greatest integrator of heaven and earth. First energy centers are all about our human living, right? Survival, creation, willpower. The upper energy centers are about a connection to the divine, intuition, and truth telling. So heaven and earth are found in our energy centers, and what translates its connection is the heart, because it's right in the middle.
Oh, okay, wait. What translates this connection between heaven and earth is really the heart.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we are just a microcosm of the macro of the
Yes.
universe.
Yes. 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 Yeah. That's
That's
it.
powerful, powerful. Paola, I call you Pao as my friend, and
Call me
sometimes I
Pao.
call you.
Everybody can call me Pao.
So you kind of introduce in a more detailed, specific way the technology of our inner structure and how we're connected to the universe, and the heart being such an important portal and translator of bringing heaven to earth. Now, I want to ask you, how do you envision your mission evolving, and what impact do you hope to make in the lives of those seeking to bring heaven on earth? starting with yourself?
Well, the way that I envision it is for me to be a living example of what I believe in. Knowing and doing are two different things. And I want to be it. So when you know something and you do it enough, it becomes your beingness. So first of all is to continue to master this philosophy of living from the heart, bringing heaven to earth through the heart. And then I have a lot of fire in me, and that fire, because of all my challenges in the past, has been a little tamed. So what I'm envisioning is to use my gift of communication, my fire, and express with the spoken word these ideas of living from the heart, of living a life of inner freedom, of being curious about the ideas of ourselves that we hold that are not true. So pretty much using my communication skills to bring this information to those who haven't tapped into it. And not because I am a scientist or I'm someone that I don't know, that is doing deep research on it. It's because I'm living it. It's because I am expressing it from the field. So I am going to allow my resonance to speak for itself and reach, if it's one person or 10,000 millions, be that.
Yeah.
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 So
So it seems to me that what it feels to me is that that's your mission.
just
For
express. Yeah.
use your voice as a portal to
Yeah.
help people connect to the heart, which is the translator and the connector of heaven to earth.
Yeah.
And so that's really powerful, Paola. You, in my own journey of transformation, you were so important, and to me, especially when I had this magnificent healing and awakening in my own life. And I remember working with you as my coach and then my friend, and helping me get to a place where I was able to have a greater understanding of what that means, living from the heart, living from a state of higher consciousness, and then making decisions from that place. So, any final words that you wanted to share with the viewers and the people who are listening right now?
I want to say it is very simple. Don't complicate it. Whenever it feels complicated, it's because your mind is operating. The mind is leading the way. That's when it gets complicated. It's actually extremely simple when you know how to tap into your heart.
Yeah.
And
Thank
that
you, Pao.
simplicity in and of itself is what we need. It's like, yeah,
Simplicity.
yeah,
Simplicity. Um, and something that you and I talked about in the past, and the mind is very important. It's a beautiful instrument, but
yeah,
it's really a receptor of information that is aligned to the wisdom of the heart. It's really
yes,
what it is. And so when we bring the mind and the heart into alignment, that's when we experience this power of
yes,
our highest and most authentic self.
yes,
Thank you for these powerful words that you have shared with us. I also want to invite everyone uh, to follow us on Ater Tumti on our website, atertumticostarica.com, to take a look at the events that we have coming up. We have one important and probably one of the most exciting events for me of the whole year, that is happening January 22nd to 27th, ancestral healing and wellness, um, transformational events. So I invite everyone to go to our website and just book or a discovery call to talk more about these events that we have going on. You can also follow us on Instagram. This is beautiful work. The beautiful work of bringing heaven to earth is really bold. It's really courageous to even talk about it.
yeah,
But we're here to be bold. We're here to be courageous. We're here to be truth tellers. And the
mm-hmm,
reason why is because we feel it deep in our hearts. And we just want to take everyone along in this journey with us. Thank you,
Yeah.
Pao. You are
Can I say
phenomenal.
something about Ater Tumti?
Yes, you can say something about Ater Tumti.
And those of you who are looking to heal through nature, the nature in which Ater Tumti was built, like the space, is medicine. I stayed with Vero for a few days and I just felt so recharged after a couple of days of being there. So give yourself that gift of unplugging and to go within, to bring your attention back to your soul, to your spirit, and yeah, you won't regret it.
Thank you, Pao. This is really my heart here. You know, we are so intentional in creating a sacred space for everyone to come and experience healing, connection, and transformation. And having people like you come and just share your beautiful energy that is here, it is part of that journey for us. So thank you for this amazing interview on
Yay.
this episode of Bringing Heaven to Earth. You are our second guest. I love you, and I'll be talking to you soon. You're going to be co-hosting also with me. So
I
thank
love
you.
you, amiga. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.